Dr. Garcia, many of our audience might not be familiar with you. Could you please briefly introduce yourself and tell us why you have decided to run for governor?
Yes, so I'm an emergency physician that has been in the COVID-19 front lines for the last 4 months. And I have seen things that I didn't like about our response to COVID. The first thing was that we didn't shield our most vulnerable population. So our elderly started dying in nursing homes. The second thing was that we had the first wave and we had control of that first wave in the hospitals. The hospitals were empty. We had to let go of nurses and doctors because we didn't have enough patients. And that, in any pandemic, I'm a microbiologist, immunologist, so in any pandemic, that is the time to release the population out responsibly and watch the ratio of the infections versus the medical personnel so we don't overwhelm the medical profession. But we didn't do that, and we didn't restart our economy. I didn't feel at the time that there was any medical reason to not do that. But the last thing that really got me is that we have one branch of government, the governor, that has decided to make all the decisions to control the population, to mandate without any checks and balances. And this country was created on checks and balances. So I didn't appreciate that because I had an experience coming from Cuba. And the Cuban government was big government. They took over our land. They took over our hard work. They even took over my mother's license to practice teaching. And I don't believe that big government works. So when I saw a government that mandated and not educated enough, I was venting to my wife in a campfire, and she said, well, I think that you should run for office. It's been your dream all your life. And the reason it's been my dream is because this country has given me so much. I was a skinny kid that came here as an immigrant. I didn't speak English. My cousin handed me down clothes. But I got to a place that with hard work, every immigrant in this country can open opportunities, can make something of themselves and their family, something to be proud of. And I think that us immigrants feel the same. We finally have a piece of land in the world where we could work hard and create opportunities. That's what I did, and I want to defend that against any big government that wants to take it over and shrink our freedom and shrink that right. So that is what made me say, I'm going to run. I've always had that dream, and now the time found me.
As a medical professional, what are you planning to do in order to help people to overcome this COVID-19 crisis?
So I think the most significant thing that we can do as a government and as a doctor is educate people, not mandate, educate, so people can make their own decisions. This is a virus that is not contained. This is a virus that is not in one little town that we could quarantine and not let it come out. This virus is all over the world. So what we need to do is support the medical personnel to treat the virus. And I can tell you that from the medical side, we are so confident now treating the virus as we were not 4 months ago. Now we feel confident about the people that are coming into my emergency department. 9 out of 10 of them go home with the virus, but they don't have a lot of symptoms. And we're able to treat them with oxygen, with antiviral medication, and have them get over this. So if you see the data, the hospitalizations are down and the death rate is down. So the people need to know that. It's okay. We are out and about. There are going to be more cases. As long as we could treat them, as long as those cases don't overwhelm the medical personnel, and as long as we know that there is an end to it, if we keep treating it, as long as we know that the death rate and the hospitalizations are down, I'm confident that we could beat the pandemic until a vaccine arrives.
What are your advantages compared to other Republican candidates?
So I don't think that there's any other candidate running for governor or the governor himself that has more experience and expertise than I do to take us out of this pandemic and put Washington in a place where we will never get caught unprepared again, because we were unprepared. And that is inexcusable now. We cannot be unprepared again. Washington has problems. The homeless problem in Seattle, in Bellevue, in Spokane, in other cities, is largely due to a lack of solutions for mental health and drug addiction. There is no one that's running for governor that has more experience and expertise than I do in that. I'm an immigrant, so I came through the legal immigration system to this country. I know the love that we had outside to come here and hold that American passport, that blue passport that says United States. That is ingrained in me. So I understand all the immigrants. I think we all have good family values. I think we all work hard. And I think that we're all one. And this country was built with immigrants, and we should celebrate that. So I want to represent all immigrants. And there is no one that's running for governor that has that experience more than me. Luckily, I have been a member of a profession that being very competent, that being accountable, and that having decisive leadership is something that has been required of me every day of my life in my career. So I want to bring to Washington my sense of calmness in chaos, that I know how to do better than anyone else that's running. And my sense that everybody will stay safe, that we will educate and make sure that everybody is fully knowledgeable of what's going on and what the opportunities are to succeed. We're going to help the small businesses not go bankrupt. We're going to help the citizens have better health care. I think that we are looking at a window of opportunity that I have said I want to unite Washington. It's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's not about living in the west side or the east side. It's about Washington. And I want to unite us. Unite all of us immigrants, unite of us on the west side and the east side, and for a brighter future. We are so full of human and natural resources in this state. We can certainly lead the United States of America from Washington State.
Okay, it's good to hear that you said you want to have a connection with the immigrants, and you yourself is an immigrant too, so you know the immigrants. And because Chinese Americans, they seem less active in politics compared to other communities, but they want their voices to be heard too.
It's really vital this year. We finally have a candidate in me that the Chinese community could think of as one of our own. Because I understand where you came from. I understand the love to come here and have an opportunity and show it. We work hard. They don't give us a free handout. We work hard here as immigrants to create opportunities and to become a little piece of the American dream. I did that. I work hard. I became a doctor. I became a leader in my profession. I led national and state organizations. So I want the Chinese community to understand that it is so important to be involved this year, because we could really make a difference. We could really make a change. And right now, change is required. We have lawlessness in the streets of Seattle, which should never have happened. We have lawlessness in the streets of other cities, which should never have happened. We need decisive leadership. We need law and order. We need safety for our citizens. And I think that we could unite the state and have a bright future.